May I ask you what brought you down here?
Oh, a multitude of things. We're both retirees, so we don't want our pensions touched. Go ahead,
He's
Jerry.
a police officer, I'm a teacher. I spent 30 years with those kids. I love them. I cannot see this go backwards.
Right, I mean,
It's not about money, it's not about salary, it's about our class sizes, you know, what we can do with the kids, with the things that we have. This is just unconscionable. It is unacceptable.
Do you think that, are you hopeful that events like this will draw attention to the cause? Do you think the legislators are listening?
I think the Democratic legislators are listening. I think the Republicans have made up their mind. What I'm hoping that this does is galvanize those of us who are caught in this nonsense to get going to recall this governor and maybe some of our legislators. I'm from Livingston County. It's a very Republican county, and I can tell you right now there are people who are ready to start the recall.
right. Also, Act 312, I'm retired, but that's something that we went through every time in Livingston County with the Sheriff's Department, and if they take that away, I don't know where those officers left on the force will be at. So it's something that's also under attack that we need that.
You came down here because?
I came down here to see what's going on, and I belong to a union also.
What union are you in?
724.
What is that? What kind of?
Local, UAW 724.
Ah. And are you worried about the upcoming legislation that affects unions?
Yes.
Came down here to protest and let people know?
Yes.
Dr. King was in Memphis on April 4th because on April 3rd he stood with 1,300 striking city sanitation workers for economic justice and faced down the armed forces of the city and the state. The evening of April 3rd, Martin Luther King gave his historic mountaintop speech. So tonight we have a few words to honor Dr. Martin Luther King, dedicated to the strong middle class for all Americas. With that, I'd like to introduce Kalani Davis.
In our glorious fight for civil rights, we must guard against being fooled by false slogans, such as right to work, as it is a law to rob us of our civil rights and job rights. Its purpose is to destroy labor unions and the freedom of collective bargaining. We demand this fraud be stopped.
We've got a lot of petitions that we have to get printed up, and we've got a lot of work to do, and we're hoping that we'll hear something from some of the other leaders around about the state.
Have you contacted the Democratic leadership?
I've talked to the Democratic leadership in the past. I think they aren't sure.
Lansing Online News.
I don't think they're sure exactly how they want to approach it. There's some real question marks if we recall him, if we can get it together and do that. Then we're stuck with the lieutenant governor, who in my opinion is no better and maybe worse. But you got to start someplace. So I'm hoping we can recall some legislators too.
Do you think that showing up to protests like this will have an impact on the legislators?
You know, I think it will. I think it gets attention. There's very little that gets attention. This tends to get attention. And you find out that there are a few people in this town that maybe don't base all of their decisions and thoughts on a 30-second soundbite someplace, or what certain commentators on TV say. There are some thoughtful people in